So here we're seeing traveling in starships. So he's setting the premise for understanding, hey, starships. Okay, now they see this blue essence. And this blue energy is actually supposed to be also on Earth already, where it causes people to see things. Or I heard about it in Florida, where it's going to cause those folks who got certain things in their bodies 2020, 2023 to see things in the sky. So you may see something like this in the sky because you got a pow pow. So be mindful. Don't freak out. Just understand it's part of the game that's played by these dogs, which is God backwards. So he says, one name, many faces. And he's showing you right here, many faces through the eons of time. It's just what it is. Change names, switch it up. See, he says, does it meet your expectation? See, and that's what people have, expectations. See, the expectation of knowing that I want it this way. Well, I'll present it this way to you. Is that good enough for you? He says. There was a barrier that stood between them. So there is a barrier that stands between these people. There are people. How did you breach the barrier? With a starship. He said, what's a starship? Could it carry his wisdom beyond the barrier? So this deity, this God, is inside a barrier as well. See, it'll be your chariot, just like Elijah on the chariot. And it says, bring the ship closer, meaning he needs a way of escape. It's because somebody got him on the lockdown, or his frequency has him on the lockdown. And Kirk just has to ask one logical question from the depths of his pure heart. He just wants to know, what does God need with a starship? Then he asks, who is he? Kirk said, don't you know? Aren't you God? What Kirk don't realize is it's just dogma. He's just a energy that's out of the shell. He says, you don't ask the Almighty for his ID. How dare you? And this is literally how Enlil actually is Yahweh. This is how he is. You bow to other gods because he knows there's other gods, his brothers. I will literally open the earth up and swallow you. He said, because he doubts me. How dare you ask me anything? And he said, here's the proof you see. I'm going to knock you out. How dare you ask any question? Or do you doubt me? How doubt anybody ask questions about books that's been written that don't all the time line up? Here go the Vulcan saying, we need a starship for everybody in on it now. Oh, I'll knock you down too. And he said, I'm going to doubt anybody that they'll do this just because they ask questions. He said, Shakareen wouldn't do this. He said, who is Shakareen? It's something you created. Just like with all the new books out here, all the so-called ancient books, they come from older books. They come from other information that you've been told to rebuke and cast down because in the last days, many going to fall from the church. No, people, that's the setup. That's the setup. See, that's the setup. There's always been floods. And he said he needs you to reveal yourself to him. And so, sure enough shows where they just leaving. We out of here. We're out of here. Meaning that there's no more talking about worshiping you. We're out of here. You know, when it doesn't make sense, if you can't make it make sense, it doesn't make sense, people. When it says, let us, it clearly says it, let us. It's like, they drop a few crumbs to let you know. So y'all can't say y'all don't know that we told you. Let us, the Elohim. Now, in the past, I used to think, my husband and I, we used to sit down and talk about it when we looked at the book of Yasher. In the book of Yasher, it had the whole entire portions of the Bible that we were reading. Then the Bible would stop, and then the book of Yasher would continue with 10 more chapters. So we're looking at the Old Testament the King James version, and we're reading chapter after chapter after chapter, and then in the Old Testament the book stops, but then in the book of Yasher the same story continues with 10 more chapters, and we looked up at each other and say, we've been played. Who wants to admit they've been played? Nobody. It breaks down your whole ego. But what happens is you still have to walk in love. You still have to seek wisdom, knowledge, and good understanding. Because in everything that you read, there's help in it. You just got to know what kind of help you need. And the kind of help you need is understanding what truth is. Now, this sky god is who we're talking about. You know, the sky god. Now, God's is just dogma, and God is, when you reverse it, it's dog. Okay, dogma. The am God backwards is dogma. I have another video explaining that, but dogma backwards is I am God. I I dogma. I dogma. I dogma. I dogma. I am God. That's whoever edits and pens writings. History is someone else's story. His story. History is his story. Whose story? This by Enlil and Inky's story, baby, and a new story. And man has been clever enough to use the Sumerians' information and Mesopotamian information, and I mean they've been very clever in their. They've just been very clever, and these so-called gods, which aren't gods or brothers, brethren, sisterin, they are actually brown skinned. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, why does God need a starship? Why does your God need to come here on a wheel in the middle of a wheel? You have to think about that. Picked up, was it Ezekiel? Ezekiel? The wheel in the middle of a wheel. I should look that up, but it's not that important. The whole, it's just the idea that he didn't die. Okay, the wheel of the middle of the wheel. Okay. And then later on, they were looking for him, his disciples, and all of that. But anyway, the issue is when you just don't know who you're serving, then you'll just serve whoever you're told to serve. Okay. So let's look at an image of these fellas. Mesopotamian gods wearing characteristic horn crowns. And that's why you see people wearing devil crowns and stuff, because it has nothing to do with the devil. People can be devilish, but there is no devil, quote unquote, devil, like one devil. People can just be devilish and carry a devilish aura about them. You know, red is low frequency, so that's probably the reason why they say devil red suit, because it's low energy. Okay. Um, yeah. I mean, it's written in stone. Older than so much stuff on this plane that we live of existence we live on. Here go the bird, the ego, like America. The Yemen conflict right now is about what the Anunnakis want, what Enlil wants. Okay, America actually serves Enlil. Enlil's Yahweh, Yahuwah, Jehovah, Yah, the moon. Well, Yah is Yah supposed to be the moon god, but the moon god has another name. But anyway, it's all part of the same family. Okay, and that satellite up there, the moon, actually does mess with the frequencies of the Earth, which they call Sophia or Gaia. And that's why they had that AI that was named Sophia. They trying to be funny, you know. Um, yeah, Marduk, which is the son of Inky. Um, I mean, y'all, it's all in stones. Do you find any information about books that are written right now that reread about religion, that everything about them, pictures of this person in stone? No. There's no, it's just not. Maybe a little remnant of stuff, but no, it's not this detail. These people made sure you understood that it's about them. Now, of course, it's been hidden for a time. However, everything comes to the light, everything. And now is just the time to understand it. You don't have to lose your mind behind this stuff. You just need to understand that Um, it's been some folks out here getting you to serve serve who they want you to serve. Okay, these are the stars. You know, they just got you serving who they want you to serve because that's who's in the books from Old to New Testament. The first time I heard about Jesus being a star seed, I said, "What the hell? Is that how he got planted in Mary's womb?" And oh, I found out that Mary's mother was a star seed too. Wait a minute, these are people that get inseminated into somebody's body. Oh, well, until Kim Kardashian and them, those people start doing that stuff. You never thought that that stuff existed, but it became mainstream information. Oh, that's what happened. Oh, so that would be like not aliens, but that would be extraterrestrial kind of stuff. Oh, okay, I get it. Wow, well, our whole world is not what we think. The whole caboodle, you know, slaying the bull of heaven. Interesting. 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 I mean, it's from top to bottom. Every, even in Hindu. I mean, it's just, y'all, it's just everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's just everywhere. They got evidently um, divided up the land and all that. So, you know, it is what it be. And you really can't even get upset about it because it's like they sharing the land, and it is what it be. I mean, it is what it be. I don't want to make this video too long, but it is what it be. It is what it be. And anybody that says I only need one book to understand life, you're actually just afraid. I was in my belief system for 40 plus years, and so stuff that's common sense to me that I see, you may not see it because I mean, I was in depth in it. And so when I see something, I can talk about it like it's just normal. And you may look at it and say, I don't catch that. It's because you weren't devout. I was devout. I was a devout Protestant, like devout. Devout. I was a teacher of everything. I mean, I mean, this God here, I definitely dreamed about him. And in my dreaming about him, I walked up to him when he came out of his palace and I told him, hey, I'm not serving you no more. And when I woke up, I was like, who was that I was talking to? And that got me on the adventure of, I got to find out who it is I was serving, and lo and behold, it was Enlil. And I was amazed. Like, wow. So that's so called Yahweh, Yahuwah. Wow, that's Jehovah. Wow. Why did they do us like this? Well, because that's what those who wrote the book worship. I mean, y'all, this is some old stuff, and to be able to go look, a lot of time people go into cognitive dissonance because they don't want their reality to change. Yeah, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because they may not feel like they're strong enough. You know. All right, so that's. I don't want to go too long, but that's what I wanted to say about just talking about generalizing about these kinds of things, Um, to each his own. Everybody gonna do what they gonna do. You can roll back over and go back to sleep. Oh, ye virgin, 10 virgins. You can go back to sleep or you can slumber. Now, let's say you want to slumber, and every now and then you wake back up, and this won't leave you alone. Don't let it leave you alone. Work out your mind's peace. They say work out your soul salvation. Work out your mind's peace. See, don't be a child any longer. You know, don't be a child any longer. Why does they need a starship if they're not just like us? That's why they need a starship because we were made, as they said, a little higher than the angels, meaning those brethren or angels who were in a low frame of mind, a low frequency, a low energy, those who they didn't make our entire body because our bodies were already here. They were already uh, our the way we came. We were already on this planet, seated on this planet. However, being an eternal being, having an experience, these fellas and gals got together and decided that they were going to enhance us, not because they loved us and not because they were so compassionate and here eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. No, it's because they were experimenting. And being a scientist, when you experiment, you go for the gusto, and that's what Inky was doing. Him and the others, the females as well, they were trying to make sure they had ample people that could work as slaves, and the people that be like, "Oh, Enlil was so nice and kind because he wanted us to be better than yada yada yada." Yeah, and also Inky did was into all his freaky deaky stuff too. And that's the reason why a lot of people don't look up to Inky as a god. They look at him as a serpent because even though you call yourself trying to so-called make us have a clear understanding, you still went beyond what was necessary, getting your groove on. Uh-huh. And then, marrying your son, marrying folks and marrying anyway. So don't start nothing, won't be nothing with the truth. And the truth is, just because you think somebody did something, gave you the bite of the apple out of love, that bite had everything to do with sex. See, taste and see. Taste and see. And then tasting and experimenting, he found out that, hey, they got something we don't have. They have a higher essence that these so-called wannabe gods didn't have. These brothers and sisters didn't have the high frequency essence. They had been around for so long, you lose your glow. And so they want to tag team, and Inky anyway wanted to tag himself with our creation to see what it would be. And lo and behold, here we are today, struggling and straining, but we're on our way home. And it's definitely not some heaven and some clouds. We can make sure of that. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, and thanks for listening with me this morning.